Hey guys, Mike Tat here, and welcome to a little video I wanted to do expressing my ideas and concerns for Destiny 2, seeing as it comes out in September. I already pre-ordered the game, so there's not much I can say about it bad. Of course, there are concerns like the 4v4 in multiplayer. I don't really appreciate that. I always like going on the weekends and hanging out with my friends playing Trials and 3v3, and so I don't really know how that'll work. But I'm genuinely excited for the rest of the PvP experience. I also wanted to express the fact that um, Night Stalker and Sunbreaker and what's the other one called? The Stormcaller. Um, they're not coming back. As far as we know in the base game, they're not coming back. They may come back in a later DLC, but right now they're not. That's one of my main concerns. Actually, it's not even a concern now. It's just my main kind of thought that I didn't really like. I really, the past few months, have enjoyed using my Night Stalker in Trials, especially with Shade Step. Another thing I wanted to talk about is I think it'd be really nice if they brought back some of the fan favorite exotics, like say they brought back the Last Word or the Hawk Moon or the Gallahorn. I think that'd be really nice to kind of bring back as more of a nostalgia factor for year one, two, and three exotics. I'm also really excited to see the way they're handling the gun system. Although I did really like Destiny 1's where they had the primary, secondary, and heavy. I do like the fact that they're using that the basically what'll be in turn the primary and the secondary, but now the kinetic and energy, as they're called, will share the same types of guns. Like you in your quote primary and secondary, you can have two hand cannons or two scout rifles or two auto rifles. Another thing, or actually one thing that I don't like is that snipers and shotguns are going to be in the power weapon slot. That I don't really know how that'll be benefit it, but we'll see. I have seen gameplay where snipers don't shoot in one shot, which don't really. I don't really think that should be in the power weapon slot if it doesn't shoot in one shot as a sniper rifle or a shotgun. Um, so that's one of my concerns. Another concern is that they will focus more on PvE aspects than PvP. Like all we've seen so far, aside from gameplay, is PvE. Like we've seen a ton of PvP gameplay, but it's not as fleshed out as I'd like it to be. I guess. Really wish they would have added more stuff to the Crucible and Destiny 2 rather than take stuff out like they taken out. Well, they condensed the amount of players in a PvP match to 4v4, which it's not a big change. But they've also taken out, so far as we know of, Rumble game modes. The lead director has said there will not be Rumble game modes, which sucks a lot. Um, because I always enjoyed being kind of the lone wolf and kind of dropping into a Rumble game and seeing how far I can get against other players. I think aside from trials and alike, that's really one of the only ways you can truly test your skill alone. Because I mean, you have a six other people you're playing against who can vary in skills. Um, but yeah, so far I do really like the way it looks. I love the fact, just because I'm a Golden Gun main, as you can see in the gameplay right now, that you can fan fire the Golden Gun. I've always thought that'd be a neat concept, especially because of the fact that the Last Word and the Golden Gun look so alike. Um, Virtually the same model of gun. So I really like that. I also like that in a way the throwing knife is still coming back. It's not like the throwing knife in Destiny 1, but it's coming back. I also like the changes. As weird as it sounds, I'm starting they're starting to grow on me the changes that have been made to previous subclasses like the Arc Strider and the Sentinel and the Dawnblade. I really like how Sunsinger wasn't always like I always thought it was a very underpowered class aside from self res. Like aside from that, it was really your super. All you did was throw more grenades and then did more melee. I really thought they should flesh that out more, and they are. In the point of you have a sword where you throw it on fire. I thought that was really neat. Um, Also, I don't quite like how Ward of Dawn, or the Bubble as most people refer to it, is being replaced with the Captain America shield. Although I do like the concept of the Sentinel with the throwing around the Captain America shield and just bashing people in. Um, I also, at first, didn't think the Arc Strider was the right way to go in terms of the arc ability for the Hunter. I always really liked my Blade Dancer. When I first started playing Destiny, I mained Blade Dancer. And so I didn't really like that at first, but now that I've seen more gameplay, it seems they really improved upon it and made it more fluent. Like when you attack, you kind of go through the enemies instead of having to stop and then run. And then also just running and attacking without like killing somebody or hitting somebody doesn't use as much super energy. So far, I'm really optimistic about Destiny. As far as I've seen, my favorite class of weapons, uh, which you guys don't know, it's the hand cannons. I've always really loved hand cannons. I always use hand cannons really. Uh, like my AS Luna, my Hawk Moon, my back when I had my Imago Loop, they were always my favorite guns to use. I've always really liked them, and in most games I like using revolvers. Um, but it doesn't really seem that, and this is just a design aspect from the model of the guns. Like they don't seem right. Like they don't seem like the Destiny One uh, hand cannons, which I mean maybe that's purposely done. Like they're trying to move away from like the trigger. Like I always thought it was a neat detail how the trigger is pulled. Like as it's pulled, the hammer kind of moves as you're pulling it, even into like the shot, and it goes back. And so I thought that was really weird, but it might pay off in the end. They might have guns where the hammer moves and they're more ballistic style. Because so far we've really only seen a lot of gameplay from the elemental ones, which they might have a different design from like the kinetic ones. I guess I don't know. We'll have to see. Um, and the exotics are really exotic. Like you have the chain gun exotic. I think it's called the Sweet Business or something like that. I can't honestly remember. And then you have like a submachine gun exotic I've seen. You have that new. Speaking of hand cannons, the new hand cannon exotic, the one that looks kind of it looks a lot different from a typical hand cannon. So yeah, that's just kind of my concerns for Destiny and my like hopefulness. And I'm honestly really excited for Destiny. I've pre-ordered the game itself with the past content, like the season pass content where you get the first two DLCs. Um, and I'm also really looking forward to recording it and having new guns to play around with because there's not much in here in Destiny anymore. They're not adding anything new. So I've not always. I'm sorry, I'm bad at this. It's like my second or third. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Destiny 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed um, hearing my opinion on Destiny 2. If you're also excited for Destiny 2, please leave a like. As for that, I'll be logging off. This has been Mike High Gaming.